4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwell.
Just chime in with whatever. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind. This is going to be the second half of Season 1 of the X-Men. We actually have a nice little treat for you. Leaf, you want to tell them what that is?
Absolutely. We got our friend Matt Stevens created a version of the X-Men theme song, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. Right, Shadwick?
Yeah, if you close your eyes and listen to this, it sounds like something being played next to a campfire in like an otherwise dark desert.
Yeah, it will be forever known as the X-Men theme song Bummer Mix going forward. So anyway, Matt, thanks so much, and check him out. I got his links in our description, so go check out Matt, support him, and enjoy the second half of Season 1.
So now that we're like kind of calmed down, we're relaxed. Then we go to episode 7, Slave Island.
Yeah.
So
And it goes right fucking back to.
Yep.
I mean, they literally gassed Jubilee.
Yep.
and she wakes up, and they put these collars on her, and who else is there? Storm,
yeah.
Gambit, and Jubilee, right?
Yeah.
at the end,
And they all wake up and they have these collars.
Yeah.
So they can't use their mutant power,
Which
except for slave labor.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly. So I was gonna say,
the-
like, it reminds me of Deadpool,
Yeah.
like Deadpool 2 or whatever, because they
dude,
have the
that's
same
exactly
collars in
what
there.
it's like.
The
That's
prison
literally
wallet.
Been and stashed it in the old prison wallet, if you know what I'm saying.
that had to have been from this episode, dude. I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like that. So
Fire
at the end of
fist.
episode, at the end,
Stop at the fist to go all the way up the arm.
Yeah.
Professor X sent Storm, Gambit, and Jubilee to a rumored mutant vacation country club called Genosha.
That's right.
Where, of course, like Shadwick said, they gas them and capture them. And in episode 7, Storm, Gambit, and Jubilee are sent to Slave Island. That's the name of the episode, where they're forced to work with other mutants to build a dam. The new power source will then be used to power an AI named Masterbold, who will build an army of Sentinels. That's right, the Sentinels still exist. You thought they were gone. They're not gone. But the rest of the X-Men and, of course, Cable show up on a rescue mission and blow the place the fuck up.
Josh Brolin just shows up and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And then he just leaves. He's not in there very long, right? Like, because this is when they start dabbling in time travel and all that good stuff.
Almost, it's almost, yeah. Like so basically, like Shadwick said, they're being forced they're in a slave camp on an island, being forced to use, like, the collars get turned off so they can use the mutant powers. And if they disobey, they warn them, if they disobey, they turn the collars back on and or just blow the collar up and blow their head off. That actually happens.
That was
in
the other thing
cartoon.
too, right? If you try to remove it, it'll just blow your fucking head off.
Yeah, it'll explode. And of course, the second they turn off the suppression power collar, Storm tries to like fly off and like attack and escape, and they literally turn the collars back on and just beat her ass and throw her in the box.
Yeah.
They throw the claustrophobe into the brick.
Yeah. And that's like the thing too, is like Jubilee's like worried because this is like when Gambit's there too, right?
Yes,
right.
yeah. Storm, Jubilee, and Gambit.
But so I mentioned before, there's a little bit of distrust on Gambit from all the other team members because like he came from Thieves Guild and
he's a criminal, dude.
Yeah,
he's a criminal.
So they kind of play into that where Gambit he doesn't tell anybody else, but he's worked a plan where he's going to like double cross. He's going to be a Benedict Arnold, try to save his own ass.
Gambit's a smooth pimp who loves the pussy.
I bet that pussy tastes good, Cher.
I bet that tastes good.
Will that pussy be good? I guarantee.
I guarantee that pussy be good.
Goddamn. This is one wacky game show.
It is, man.
So eventually the other mutants of the X-Men, they find out where they are, and they pretty much come to rescue them. They blow the fuck up out of the dam. I'm gonna tell you right now, though, this is where a lot of the politics like that come in. This episode is full, like Shadwick said, of the back to the slave camps and the oppression of mutants and the Sentinels like capturing, and what they're trying to do.
Aren't you glad that like nothing like this has ever happened in real life?
Thank God, dude. We're protected from the evils of
a fucking travesty.
Yeah,
oppressive governments and
thank God
and the like. And so
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
I said, goddamn. To the stud. Schloncha.
Oh, it burns.
So yeah, the X-Men show up, they free everybody, they blow up the collars. It, like Shadwick said, turns out Gambit's not a traitor, even though again everyone's like, you think he is. He's not. He's still, of course, on the team, and he's trying to manipulate his way in and out. And he ends up rescuing Jubilee and Storm, and everybody escapes. And they let loose, like, also there's a lot of cameo of a lot of the mutants in the rest of this season.
Yeah, you get
by the way.
Yeah, some of the deeper characters and stuff are like at
Blob
these
is there.
And,
Mystique.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Puto. Fucking.
Was that his real name?
Garaputo, yeah.
The Blob was Garaputo.
That's Blob's.
Like, what is his mutant power? Is he's incredibly fucking obese?
Yeah, and his mutant power is he's
chipped one of my horns.
Mm-hmm.
The mutant power is he's incredibly obese, and he also sits in the gym and gives Shadwick advice. Wow, especially in early January,
just the first 2 weeks of January.
Yeah,
I've done all I can do here. I'm gonna go away.
Where's powers that are tight?
I don't jump rope so good, coach.
Take it easy or I'll sit on you. So that was kind of cool, especially if you had the cards or into the comics. You see a lot of these guys
look, we're referencing a true story. When I was a teenager, I was a member at a boxing gym, and there was a guy in there. It was, he wasn't top tier in academics. But he was
the most polite way to say he was a dumbass.
He was a very large guy, and we had like circuit training that we do, and part of the circuit was jumping rope. And he goes, "Coach, I don't jump rope so good. Can I just run in place?" And one of the other guys here, he's like, "Well, it'd be a lot easier if you lose some weight, fat ass. And he goes, cut it with a fat joke, 'cause I'll sit on you.
I thought you were like at first. I thought you were literally referencing when the Blob. Remember Wolverine? What movie was it where he encounters the Blob? It's like a scene just like
that shit movie. The Origins.
Oh yeah,
it was ass, but that scene was actually really good. It was really, really good. I
the
thought.
Blob. I just always hated the Blob.
Yeah,
He sucks, but that scene is really cool with Wolverine. Come on, that movie.
He sucks,
you gotta
but
watch
man,
that
you should
scene.
see this guy fucking put away a whole large pie. But,
Toronto.
I just assumed that you beat him like you beat Dobermans, like you put sleeping pills in a steak and throw it.
yeah, that's how you beat the Blob.
Pretty much.
How do they get a collar big enough for that fat son of a bitch?
They
like a belt.
Wait, when he put the collar on, was he just instantly skinny?
No, because his power actually was like when you punch him, he's actually like gelatinous.
So
you
like,
couldn't really hurt him.
did his arteries immediately clog as soon as they turned it on? Like
He didn't
the
want to
blood
diabetes.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
yeah. He's like, go back into the future and give me some of that Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Cable to go get him some Ozempic so he'd be all right.
Speaking of Cable, there's a scene with Cable. This is the last thing I'm gonna say for this episode. There's a scene with Cable where so the X-Men blow up the dam, they defeat Master Mold, and the water is rushing, and like Cable has the government official in his hands, and he turns and he looks and he sees like the wave of water like rushing over, destroying everything, and he just starts laughing. He's like, and the water like rushes over him like a fucking badass, and I'm like, as a kid, I was like, well, he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like there's one of the most badass scenes ever. He's just cracking up as like the dam and everything is being destroyed around him because he's just this invincible super soldier. And even at this point in time, when I'm watching this in 2024, I'm like, what the hell is he doing here again?
Yeah,
like I can't even remember.
Like it really is weird because does he really serve a purpose to the main plot, or does he advance anything? Or
I argue he does not in season 1. He does not. He is basically a mercenary, and it is unclear what he's doing, but he seems to always know more than everyone else.
Yeah,
always. He in this one in this particular in the animated series, he's not from the future. He's just a super soldier that has like he has some sort of mutant power. You never know what it is. His eye keeps flashing, and glowing.
I think you just don't know in the first season that he's from the future.
He's from the future. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So right. Yeah. Correct. Right now, like in
but
this
you don't.
season,
I mean, right? So like, when he pops
it.
in, you have no fucking idea like what this dude is.
Isn't Cable? Isn't he Cyclops' son from the future?
I do not know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you look that up?
Jamie, can you look that up, please?
She's like,
I don't
go fuck yourself.
I don't. Yeah. When he shows up, like all you know is like the name of the government official of this country of Genosha is named the Leader. Like that's his name, and he basically is like, I need you to use these Sentinels to kill Cable. And they're like, why is Cable after you? And he's just like, don't you worry about it. And Cable shows up and is like, I'm after you. And Leader's just like, oh no. And we're all like, as kids, we're like, who is this badass dude? He has a gun that if he shoots it at you or whatever it hits, it just explodes. Like it's the most badass thing. The guy's an invincible soldier. You don't know anything else about him.
So Cable is confirmed to be Nathan Christopher Summers, the son of Cyclops and
holy shit.
And Madeline Pryor, which is Jean Grey's clone.
Oh, good old Straddle and Madeline.
Mm-hmm.
Which episode are we on now?
We are on episode 8. So episode 8 is next. As soon as the X-Men they get done blowing up the dam, defeating Master Mold, and evidently Cable is washed away in a gigantic way, laughing his ass off. As soon as the X-Men return from Genosha, they find that the school Professor X's
that's
Professor Xavier's school's destroyed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Professor X is missing, guys. Who knows where he is? They track down the culprit, but mistakenly blame Colossus at first.
The introduction, one of my favorite characters.
It's finally revealed that the culprit was indeed the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
Professor X's brother,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
and also
Forgot about
Beast. Beast is still in jail.
that. Just
Yeah,
in case. Just side note.
Just in
Footnote.
case, if you guys forgot throughout this podcast, as we're renewing this again, Beast is still in prison, and the Juggernaut is Professor X's brother. Like,
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yep. I mean,
one of the best like edit dubs ever of
So
all time.
is he? What does he say? Like he's not a mutant or something like that, or
The Juggernaut?
Yeah, I forgot. He said
He's
some
not.
shit like that, right? So
Yeah,
I
he
can
says
tell you
some-
right now.
Like his powers are magical or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I could tell you. I could literally, because I was going to get into that anyways, but since y'all brought it up, let me tell you. The Juggernaut is not actually a mutant. The Juggernaut, Professor X's brother, was like an archaeologist. And at some point in time, he finds this stone. I believe it's like a stone of Sidorak or something. And it's this like ancient god, deity, alien creature.
Okay.
And it imbues him with like all of his powers, which is why when he's fighting the X-Men in this episode, this is one of my favorite episodes. Like Rogue's like, I'm gonna drain your powers, and she grabs him. It does not work.
yeah.
Like at first. And if you watch what happens to her, this is what's really, really, really cool. Shout out to this episode and to the comic books and to whoever wrote this. So Rogue, when they're trying to defeat they finally start working as a team again because they've been fighting basically all up until this point.
Mhm.
They get the Juggernaut's helmet off. And people are trying to mind control him. It's still not working. Like he's still like very resistant. Rogue grabs him, touches him with her hands, which you all know. With that apple bottom, drains all of your essence and powers. No man on this planet is resistant.
It's going
for
to her
some
bottom.
reason.
It's going to go right to her bottom.
Oh,
The Juggernaut
you beat me by 1 second.
Yeah.
The Juggernaut is like very, very, very resistant to it. Eventually he does kind of succumb to her mutant power, but what happens to Rogue is the most telling aspect of this because she is consumed with rage and hatred, and she's screaming and she's like flipping out, right? And she's thrashing around, and like Storm is trying to help her, and Storm can't even hold her. She's trying to hold her, and she's freaking out, and you see all this power basically like explode and leave her, and it shoots into outer space.
Yeah.
Like it goes.
Yeah.
It is such an amazing nod to Juggernaut and his powers and what he really, really is. And as Chris said, I believe he does in the episode mention he isn't a mutant, and he's not. He's 100% not a mutant. He got his powers from basically a god.
And he got it from a god and a butterbean because that's what he looks like.
And he's redheaded.
Yeah.
Redheaded butterbean.
Did Colossus end up defeating Juggernaut? I can't remember.
So that was what happens in this episode. So when the X-Men come back from Genosha, from blowing up the dam and beating Master Mold, they find the school's destroyed, and like Wolverine immediately is just like, I smell a dirty ass rat. And he starts going on the hunt on the hunt for whoever wrecked the school. And so they find a guy, a mutant, working at a construction site, and it's Colossus, and he's basically wrecking a building.
He's
immediately
a one-man demolition crew.
He's a one man, and then like what's is really funny because the literally before South Park ever even touched it, the humans in this episode are like, Colossus took our jobs. And even after watching this man turn into basically like adamantium or whatever he is, and he wrecks this building, the human beings get so mad that their jobs are being taken that they try to attack.
They took our jobs.
He took their.
Oh, they took our jobs.
They took your job.
So
yeah, and then the foreman is like, hey, like you guys can, I'll hire you guys to clean up the mess. It's fine. It doesn't matter. And they're no, fuck these mutant disgusting.
I'm not cleaning up that mutant's mess.
yeah,
yeah, they don't even care.
Yeah.
They don't. They're just racist. Like that's all it is. Like, and so Wolverine is like, "Yo, this is the dude. This has got to be the dude." Right? So of course Wolverine does what Wolverine does, and he fucking attacks him. With Jubilee's help.
Yeah.
Thank God Jubilee finally comes into her own, because for some reason she has attached herself to Wolverine, which I believe Chris and Shavik mentioned. That's really Rogue's role in the very first X-Men movie. Yeah. She automatically has an attachment to Wolverine, who is sort of a loner and doesn't really fit in with a lot of people. And that's sort of like Jubilee in the cartoon. She's not really fitting in with a lot of the other mutants, but she identifies with Wolverine for whatever reason. So she goes to help him. And so I think she sees
him as a father figure.
Yeah,
damn, that is deep.
Yeah.
Is that true? Really?
I mean, that's what I always got like from the movie. Like he saves her, like he's the older guy. He takes care of her.
Yeah.
I always thought that she just saw him as a father figure.
Wow.
Which, I mean, if you talk to her and you ask her what her relationship's like with her father, if it's anything positive, you move on to the next girl.
Yeah. And if you guys are upset at that joke, just know that a woman wrote that.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. We don't have women.
Yeah. Like you, Norm.
So Jubilee and Wolverine attack Colossus for no reason at all. Colossus whoops their natural ass. Yep. Like he basically wraps Jubilee in a piece of steel and just throws Wolverine off like a fly. Like it's not even close, right? And Wolverine gets close enough and he's just like, I didn't smell the guy that did it. That ain't him.
And Colossus
after he has his ass whipped.
Colossus the whole time was like even tempered. He's like, I don't understand.
Yeah, he's so nice the whole fucking time, dude. Just like in the Deadpool.
Just like all Russians.
Yeah. I must break you.
He was like, I just want job. I must break you.
Yeah, I must break you.
Fine.
Give me a job. Look at these magic mice. Look at him go.
Once I walked on the moon. Now I sell these magic mice. Look at him go.
If he dies, he dies.
He is enjoying free market economy.
I love free market economy.
I love capitalism.
Stop.
Oh god damn.
You're gonna do I literally
I do a good job, you give me money?
Yeah. Have some Chocodiles and some Froggy Pops.
But there are many pictures of Froggy Pops and Chocodiles.
In Mother Russia, we have Adidams. For less money, you get extra stripe. It's a very good deal.
So for less money, I was able to get extra stripe. It's a very good deal.
Typical American cowboy.
There's no way you find a clip to any of that, dude. You know damn well you won't. And so this joke, I'm sorry to everybody watching this. Like and subscribe, unfortunately, because you're never going to get this joke. But this is a deep inside joke from the state, which you cannot find.
Yep.
A comedy group originated on MTV. Like this is an inside joke, and it is hilarious. And I apologize to everyone watching, but god dang, that's funny, dude. That is so funny.
What did I do wrong? So all right, go ahead. So
like Colossus basically like beats them, and like later on in the episode he just gets arrested. Like 5 guys come in, and even though you can
Juggernaut robs a bank.
And I think it's Colossus.
Colossus, I think, is trying to stop him, right?
Yeah. Colossus.
He's there somehow.
Either way, he gets blamed. He does get blamed for the break-in. Because like, who else is strong enough to reckon?
And then Wolverine cuts the bags.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then who ends up being his cellmate?
Well, it's just funny you should mention that, Shedrick. I would like to reference that. So five normal grown ass men arrested in the cartoon arrest Colossus, which Jubilee and Wolverine could not defeat. They carry him away. He gets arrested, and I'll be damned if his cell block mate wasn't the Beast.
Upside down reading a goddamn book.
Yeah. And it's just as insufferable as he was in fucking episode 1, fucking like quoting Dostoevsky and like that shit, dude. It's like,
have you ever read The Great Gatsby? Let me tell you about Great Expectations and Mrs. Havisham.
Hey, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember like going back to episode 1 or 2, whatever it is, where they're going into that facility? And Beast, he quotes some poet or something, and he says something like
probably the bar.
It's like a minor poet for a minor mission or something like that.
It's just every line is a literature reference. Like every single line.
I mean, he really is like Frasier.
Yeah, it was a perfect casting. It really was. Like, I mean, it was well done. All right, so but also I digress. When Juggernaut's also like when he's robbed this bank and he has, of course, your stereotypical cartoon bags of cash that don't exist in real life, but he's got like Wolverine, Wolverine. So you know what it is, right? So Wolverine cuts it without him knowing, because I guess when you're Juggernaut, you can't tell when things are lighter. But he walks and there's just all this cash on the street, and they bring it back to the bankers to be like, "Hey, look, we're good. Like, here's your money." And they're like, dirty fucking mutants.
Like, thanks, man. Thanks, man in a mask.
Yeah. Dirty fucking mutants. Get them out of here.
Get them, those disgusting filth out of our society.
But fast forward to 2021, you can walk in the bank wearing a mask.
That's true.
And a liquor store.
Yeah, and a liquor store. I felt
very true.
I felt like a man. All right,
so they, as you said, the X-Men break Colossus out of jail. Beast opts to stay in because justice system. Why not, dude? Like, it's not like he could help that much anyways, dude. All he does is sit around and read like Animal Farm and shit. So congrats, good book, by the way. Like, it's fine. And so Colossus ends up helping the X-Men. They figure out that obviously Juggernaut's the one that wrecked the place, and he was hired by Magneto basically to go in and like, that's right, Magneto is not the is still around. He's not the only bad guy in this. He hired the Juggernaut to go in there and just mess the school up and kidnap Professor Xavier, and the Juggernaut's like, I took the job, because obviously he hates his brother.
Yep.
And they have that final showdown with Rogue and everybody else, and they end up basically, unfortunately, maybe this is a good time for Chris to voice his opinions, because the actual person who defeats the Juggernaut is Jean Grey. Mm-hmm. And what she does is she uses her psionic powers to erase the Juggernaut's memory, which is only temporary. And at the end of the episode, he basically is stumbling off. He forgets who he is, where he is. Well, he's also the reason he's drunk is he's got drained by Rogue, right? So he's kind of like not full strength. But what's hilarious is even after Rogue drains him, he kind of stumbles into a building and the thing nearly crumbles. Yeah, like that just shows you how strong and huge he is. Like, I love the Juggernaut. This is actually one of my favorite episodes.
So Jean Grey, could you guys imagine if a woman could get into our mind?
No. It would be terrible.
It'd be awful. That's what happened, though, is like she used her mind control power to actually bore him to death. And that's what happened, is she bored him to death. And that's what happened to Juggernaut in this episode. He was just like... He was like, and she's like, and then I woke up and I had some toast, and then I made some coffee. Then I went outside on the porch, and there was a sunny day, and there were some birds.
Yeah, I did.
And I went to the market. I took my yellow bag, not the red one. I would usually take the red one.
This is what was happening in his brain.
Christ.
Yeah.
And then we had brunch.
Yeah, he was just like,
good. And
he's like, Jesus Christ, fuck, no more speaking roles for you.
Yeah. He's like, he's like, can Wolverine just cut my fucking head off next time? Be much more preferred.
You with the claws right here.
Yeah. Just fucking do it.
I gotta know. Why the hell do you hate Jean Grey so fucking bad, Chris?
Because she's
you gotta tell people.
all she fucking does at least in season 1, she causes conflict. She's leading Wolverine on. Like you can see that happening.
Absolutely,
she's Wolverine on.
Absolutely cock teases Wolverine.
And then
absolutely, she's leaving her options open.
So like so she's supposed to be with Cyclops, but then she's like doing this like Cheryl Cox Teagues with Wolverine, and then she does like the whole she's always like the damsel in distress. She's always getting fucked up, and then like later on in the series, like way later, she turns into like the most badass fucking character in the world with like the Phoenix shit or whatever, and it's just like no, you fuck you.
You haven't earned shit.
I don't know. Like I just feel like
cut that.
Yeah, that character is just. It's
no. You might.
I mean, it needs to be there. It's there for a reason. It's there to make us think and do what we're doing right now. But like, it's good writing. I just fucking hate that whole like, because she's also like, you know, Professor X is like, you know, like
protege.
Yeah.
Well, you've also like told me the problem you have with fire crotches from that one chick.
I think that was Leaf.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Me.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. He's addicted to him. He's like Jean Grey. He wants to nurse them back to health and then lead them on and then go fuck Cyclops.
He's a Chad, dude. He looks like he's gonna treat he might not treat me good, but he's got money.
How about he doesn't even father a son with her, right? Like, doesn't he father it with a clone? Is that what we said?
With a clone. Are we to assume that he didn't know it was a clone, or did he?
I don't know. Maybe he had the clone made.
Yeah.
I mean, in the maybe that's the future of you know, like you can buy like molds of porn stars' pussies now.
No, clone pussy. Is that where we're going with this episode? I thought I'm the one that had three shots.
I bet that clone pussy tastes good.
Yeah. I mean, Futurama already did it with the Lucy Lubot, so I mean, let's just get it going, baby.
Bro, how the hell are you more drunk than me, Shadway? With the clone pussy comment. There's no way, bro. So wait a minute. Back to it. Chris, do your feelings of hatred come, I have to ask this, solely from the animated series, or are they influenced by just her character as it's been portrayed throughout?
Solely in the animated series for this one, at least, because I don't know. It's just this, just because I know like what happens later on, so it's, and I know it's like a story arc and a build, but she just rubs me the wrong way. I think you know what it is. It's the cock tease on Wolverine. I think that's what the main one is, like, where I'm like. She acts like, I don't know why he feels this way. And I'm like, fuck you. You know exactly. You can read his mind. You know what he's doing. Like, what are we talking about?
Damn, you're absolutely right. I forgot that she could read minds. Dang, you're right, dude. Oh my God. Fucking Jean Grey's for the streets, bro. Yeah, I don't like her either. She really is annoying, and I agree with you. She's just like, oh, my powers. And like Wolverine catches her at one point in time. He's like, Jean. And she's like,
They should have gave her Storm's voice, and then it would just be the
worst,
most terrible person ever.
We need a palate cleanse. Let's go ahead and cue up that apple bottom shot of Rogue again. All right.
That actually feels so good. That feels so good right now.
I don't know.
That.
I think you guys said you're not huge Seinfeld fans, but Rogue, you may not get this reference, but Rogue definitely turned me into.
No, these don't belong to me. I'm not the ass man. I think there's been a mistake.
What's your name again?
Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer. You are the ass man.
So after Jean Grey has fucked everything up, and now you know why I hate her. Where are we at now? Are we on episode?
So we're running to episode 9. So at the end of episode 8, they basically defeat the Juggernaut and Colossus. They ask Colossus to join the X-Men, which he summarily refuses. But he's like, not before I help you rebuild the the professor's school.
Because
so he's
really
helping.
good
And
he's
then-
good at that. Lifting heavy things.
And then apparently all of the X-Men are professional contractors and rebuild a fucking mansion by hand.
I question whether they had proper permits.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happens, gentlemen. Whether you like it or not, whether the permits were legal, they rebuild the school. The X-Men do.
So who did the electrical wiring and who did the? I mean,
Storm doesn't matter.
What's the
Doesn't
drywall
matter.
situation?
Dude, Wolverine.
Storm did all the electrical work.
With
Yep,
the winds
Wolverine.
of the Arctic, I bring you in to help me with the electric sea.
So I summon a permit from illegal immigrants working on this to finish it out.
Oh, Nubian princess.
Yeah. God.
Episode 9. They're at the beginning. They're actually still finishing repairing the school, right? Professor X is still missing. No mention of where he may even be. You just assume he's just dead or gone.
Like that was kind of like I had to rewound that one because I was like, did I fucking
on your
miss
VCR?
something?
You did not.
I was
They
like, did I
basically
miss something?
Well, he did say he was going to go see someone, right?
He did, but he didn't communicate that to any of them before he left. But here's the thing: he left a message, but it got destroyed when the Juggernaut wrecked the place. So they didn't check the answering machine.
They should have got the little cassette tape out,
Right? Even though he could have instantly used Cerebro to tell Jean Grey where he was going. He didn't do that. He was just he left a note on the fridge, which got wrecked. And the Juggernaut was like, bitch.
So we get into episode 9, The Cure, which is a lot like the X-Men movie, the third one, X3, which was a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah, a lot of that does come from this comic book that this episode was based off of. But episode 9 turns out Professor X wasn't missing after all. He just went on vacation to Scotland to research a strange cure to mutations by a weird scientist who looks like Dr. Wily but goes by the name of Dr. Adler.
Yeah.
Rogue then summarily decides she needs to get laid, so she flies to Scotland to get the cure, but gets in a fight with Cable instead. Decides her powers is cool and changes her mind.
It's because that she works all this shit out later on when she's in Golden Girls, when her powers have subsided enough. Actually, maybe that's why some of the many old men died when they had sex with Blanche in the Golden Girls.
You know, Rose, you're right. Family you can see anytime, but a one-night stand only happens one night.
I had a little bit of the power left.
There's a short for this episode.
Yeah. So this one was kind of sad though, because she just wants, because Gambit's still doing Gambit things, and she's just like, fuck it, man. Like I want to be able to love someone. And they should do that backstory, where they show her kiss the person or whatever, and it was like,
yeah.
And I'm gonna do Chris a favor and throw fucking Jean Grey under the goddamn bus right now.
Good.
There are multiple points in this episode, Shavik, and you know what I'm talking about, where they were in danger and right in front of Rogue. This happens 2 or 3 times in this episode. And she's like, "Oh, Scott! Oh, thank God we're safe." And she's like, right? And then Rogue turns around, right in front of Rogue, who literally can't touch or be intimate with anybody. Yeah. You know that, and Jean Grey is still just like, "Grandma titty, Cyclops," and it's like, "What are you doing? Rogue can't touch anyone. She can't have any human contact."
Dude, and let's not forget, she can read everyone's fucking mind, so she knows what you're thinking.
She's doing. Holy shit!
She's giving Rogue the side eye while she's
It's so true, man.
She's like, you would think sucking dick wouldn't be fun, but it really is, Rogue. But you wouldn't know.
You should try it. Oh wait.
She's like, tastes like skin.
You know what that's like, Rogue? Oh,
Rogue?
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Poor Rogue.
Poor Rogue.
She still got that ass though.
He's like,
Can't touch
remember,
it,
you gotta mind the stepchildren. You know?
You can still you can touch your ass depending on what her suit's made of.
It's true. Maybe latex. That's why it was so tight. So tight. But yeah, so I want to throw under the bus for that. So like all of this keeps happening. Like Rogue's just like, I want to be normal, man. If there's a cure for this, because I mean, Professor X has everyone convinced that their mutations are powers and benefits, and that whole episode it happens basically under that guise that it's like, hey, Professor X taught us, that our powers are beneficial to humanity.
This is the Michael Scott race for the cure.
You have reached the offices of Dunder Mifflin Scranton. Currently, the entire staff is out doing the Michael Scott DMSM PMC Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race. For the cure. Leave a message.
We should be doing the best we possibly can to like help humanity and the world in general, and use our we were born as mutants, but we which come with negatives, but honestly,
like an irrational fear of water,
or enclosed spaces.
You're a claustrophobic.
So he just wants
another guy.
He just wants to. He's trying to spin it like your disability is your ability or whatever, and then like this episode, but of course, like it's all fucking ruse. Nothing is what it seems. And Dr. Adler's he's fucking dead. He's been. You only get little bits and pieces of that. Thankfully, through Cable, who returns from the fucking watery depths from. He's like
the episode. He shows up and he's like, "Where the fuck is Dr. Adler?"
And like, which confirms that he did not have rabies.
Yeah,
confirmed. Actually confirmed. So it's like, Rogue flies to Ireland and find Dr. Adler to get her cure, and in the midst of it, Dr. Adler is kidnapped by Cable, right? And taken to the edge of like some freaking Irish like coast. And you find out, and this goes into the next episode, but you find out all is done. It seems that Dr. Adler is indeed not who he seems, and something's off. Even there's a scene with Professor X because he's been here the entire time, right? Like instead of being crushed under the Juggernaut's like iron fist, he's chilling, talking to his girlfriend, scientist Moira. And they're like, so he tries to basically mind probe, which shout out to Professor X. Why the hell are you just mind probing random people?
Oh, dude.
And he sees
all day, every day.
He sees flashes. Exactly. He's supposed to be better than that, but he's not in this episode. And he sees flashes of something weird, like mutants, random things. And he's like, I don't understand. Like, I'm being blocked. My mutant powers are being blocked. I don't understand what's happening with this cure. But when Rogue flies to the island to get her cure, that's where Professor X is. They don't ever really meet each other this entire episode. They just kind of like
it's kind of weird.
That.
So this episode strange. Actually it has like this underlying idea, and I wonder, like, being serious, say that there was something identified in the brain that caused homosexuality.
Here it goes. Just go.
No, listen, seriously. If there was something that's identified that causes it, and there was a way to fix it, not fix it, change it, whatever. Don't you think that there would be like a lot of people would be like, no, this is who I am, but there would also be people that were like raised in like a Southern Baptist preacher's house that like thinks that it's wrong, and they're like,
that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. I don't think anyone denies that, those who identify as homosexuals struggle in society, right? Like, I don't think that's like, I agree with you. It would be a contentious subject because there's those that accepted it and those who want to be what something that they're not. And I think that not only goes for that, but it goes for like all of us who,
it goes for,
don't want to be what we are.
they've done some research and done some testing things to where they could almost, or they have avenues that maybe could cure like autism and things like that. But then it's like, okay, should you or should you not, or is there, like it's one of those like that makes these people, this is how like this person has been their whole life. This is what they know. And so, like, do you change it, or do you not change it? And like, so that's why I think it's a broad topic, because there's stuff about all of us. I mean, fuck, like Leaf's in a wheelchair. It's like, okay, if there's like a genetic thing that you could change where you could walk again, like, yeah, maybe that's like an easier decision, but then also maybe it's not. I mean, you've been in there for a while now. Like, that's kind of like what you're used to or whatever, like,
yeah,
there's just, like, there's different things that we all go through.
Okay, Leaf, would you literally jump at the chance to to be able to walk again? I mean, wouldn't you?
Well, okay, so that's what they actually tackle in the episode. Like, I didn't realize this episode was that deep until you guys brought all this shit up. But like, now that you say that, it's like, okay, like initially, this is exactly what Rogue does. Like, she leaps at the chance, but she doesn't ask the important questions because she's a stupid ass idiot. What I would ask, right? It's like, you're just like, well, would you jump at a chance to walk again? I'm like, at what cost? That's my question, right? Yeah. What is the cure? What does it entail? Are there any risks? Yeah. Is there any chance that I could die in the process? Is there any, you're right? Like, if you're saying,
is it going to be 57 years before we can see the research on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, we know for a fact that science has stated that IPAs stop basically Alzheimer's.
IPAs cure Alzheimer's is what we're
IPAs cures all. We know that for a fact now in 2024. But the question is, it's like going forward, right? Like, what is the cost? Like, what is if someone said, hey, there's a cure for paralysis, you cannot be in a wheelchair again, but you might die.
Right.
That changes the conversation.
Neuralink is coming.
Exactly. Maybe there's a chance. So it's like, my question immediately would be to answer you would be a question, right? Like, what's the cost? It's something that Rogue doesn't even consider. She's so desperate she's
like hormoned up, bro.
She is, dude. She's getting gaslit by Jean Grey the whole time. Yeah. Jean Grey is just like, you know what I mean? She's like, you know what I mean? And she's then she's like, yeah, and hey, you know what else? Hold on.
I think I filled the cup.
You know who else, though, makes it worse? We haven't mentioned this. Freaking Gambit constantly, like, sexually harasses her the entire show.
Sexually harass the fuck out of her, like, the entire
show, dude.
Look, man, people wouldn't go cancel Pepe Le Pew. Nobody said shit about Gambit. Come on now. It's because he's a smooth talker who loves the pussy.
I bet her costume was latex, because if it was porous, like, she was probably just Dagobah down there all the time. like she can never have any human interaction. So
it's a marshy wetland. Oh, Jesus Christ.
With Rogue's apple bottom, can we really blame Gambit for his actions? I can't either. I'd have flirted too. And even though she repeatedly is like, I can't touch you because you literally could go into a coma and die. Gambit's like, he's straight up like, worse.
I mean, he's dude from the streets. He don't care.
He doesn't care. He is from the streets.
He's like, what if I wear a condom, Cher?
Yeah.
Or maybe she's like, well, sugar, you could wear a condom. He's like, no.
He said, I'd charge it with energy and it'd blow you up.
Wear like a shotgun, not through a bag.
You need a kryptonite condom. That would kill him.
That'd kill him.
All right, man.
We got to move on.
Yeah, we gotta get this thing wrapped up, man.
Okay.
And admittedly, guys, you're going to have to kind of walk me through the next 3 episodes because I kind of fell asleep and woke up in the last episode.
I got both you motherfuckers. It's fine. So again, the end of episode 9.
Motherfucker, huh?
Cable kidnaps.
I'll do the research next time, I promise.
Yeah.
Cable kidnaps Dr. Adler, and Rogue and the rest of the X-Men, they end up saving Dr. Adler, and Cable basically falls off a cliff, and of course he's laughing the whole way down, and he doesn't fucking die because he's invincible. He has the strongest of plot armor, which moves us into episode 10, which we find out the truth behind everything that's been happening with the cure, with Dr. Adler, et cetera, and turns out there's actually no mutant cure. And Dr. Adler was actually a shape-shifting mutant named Mystique, which we saw earlier on Slave Island.
Yes.
And she's being forced by an uber powerful mutant, which we all recognize if you're any fan of Marvel comic books, Apocalypse.
Yep.
Hey, I forgot to mention Slave Island actually had a film adaptation later called Caged Heat on Cinemax.
which was one of your favorites, I imagine, right?
Yes.
and so
he had to watch it through the squiggly lines.
I think I saw its hit.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes that's a breast. Clear.
Yep.
That's a breast.
Yep.
and so Mystique is being forced by a powerful mutant named Apocalypse to enslave other mutants. That's what the cure actually was, to bring about, of course, the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Blue Lips.
Yeah.
And so what she was doing is she was basically broadcasting to other mutants, including which Rogue fell for, right? Initially, that, hey, we've got a cure. When these mutants would come, she would select the most powerful for Apocalypse to basically transform into minions.
There's a
to
cure.
Basically be in his army.
There's a cure, and that guy's like, I don't love men no more. I love women. I don't want to carry a purse.
I don't love men no more.
I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So the X-Men show, so they find out all of this shit and they show back up in Scotland where all this is happening again, and they defeat Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen of mutants. Woo! And they blow up Stonehenge.
Yeah, I know, because that's where his little lair, his secret lair, is underneath Stonehenge.
Yes.
For some fucking reason.
For whatever reason, that's legitimately
you kind of remember that shit's like still kind of, people are like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, how'd that happen? Makes sense.
Yeah. It
all makes sense now.
A cock and lips built it, so
a pocket blue lips.
I mean,
why
there's
do they
not
have
much
blue lips.
That's actually a good question. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about Apocalypse, but quick synopsis about him. He's actually considered to be one, or if not the first mutant, like in history.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's really cool about him. He is a mutant, even though to me, I always thought, until probably within the last decade or so, even before it came out, I found out he was actually a mutant. I thought he was an alien.
Yeah,
I did too.
He could change size. He could get massive. You know what I mean? He had all these ambiguous powers. And it could manipulate his cells and stuff. So he's basically lost his mind, and he's decided that the world needs to come to an end, and he's going to bring about that. So he basically hires Mystique against her will, tells her to hey, bring me the most powerful mutants. He creates the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, basically, right? No pun intended, or actually pun completely intended in the show. And it's just random mutants. He's got
I kind of like Mystique's reasoning too, that she's just I'm going to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be on the other side of this. So he's going to win. So I'm going to be on his side.
Exactly. Which again is you have to understand. Yeah. She doesn't have a choice. This guy kills her, right? If she refuses. Yeah. So it's she has to do what his bidding. And so he creates pestilence and war and Death, which is there's Angel, and he becomes, of course, the Archangel,
right,
with the metal wings and all of that. And like I said, so there's the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse, but of course the X-Men just literally beat the shit out of him, and in true American style, blow up Stonehenge like in the battle, and which is if we're bringing up the tally right now, like they've blown up like a chemical plant. Mm-hmm. They've destroyed a military complex. Like, of course, all in the name to save.
Rogue ripped the escalator out of a mall.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, every place they've been, they've obliterated where they are. But in Team America fashion,
fuck yeah,
fuck yeah, it's happening. So like that's basically they beat Apocalypse. They defeat the Four Horsemen, and he basically is in a spaceship and flies the fuck off because.
Yeah.
Fuck you, X-Men. I shall return, He-Man.
Yep, that's what he does. Got to set it up for future episodes, man.
Dude.
And in the future episode is Days of Future Past, which that was my favorite of the X-Men movie, where Wolverine goes back in time to basically stop the world from burning down.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an excellent episode. So we do a 180 almost.
Yeah, this one it resets again. It's kind of like another Wolverine episode where it just kind of resets again. Or
yes,
but like this one, they've got fucking Big Rig that goes through time because every single time he's walking in the scene, they play that fucking. It sounds like Diesel's theme song from WWE. Every time he walks in the room.
Yes. So Chris, of course, is talking about the next episode 11, where a mutant named Bishop is sent back in time to the 90s from the year. Hold on, we're not even that far away, ladies and gentlemen. Let me remind you how old you really are. You thought this was a nostalgia podcast. Bishop is sent back in time to the 90s from the year 2055.
Wow.
This is 2024 now. He is from a apocalyptic future in 2025 AD to stop a senatorial assassination attempt by none other than Gambit.
Yep. Which gets back to Chadwick talking about Gambit being the bad guy.
In this future, basically mutants and human beings are oppressed by the Sentinels. All freedom is inhibited. No one is allowed to basically do anything under the guise of this universal government.
And all the X-Men are fucking dead.
And most importantly to this show, all the X-Men are dead, with the exception of Chadwick.
I don't know.
Wolverine.
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay, Wolverine.
Yes, you do. Wolverine, right? Wolverine is still alive, and he has got a ragtag group of mutants who are working on, of course, time travel to try to prevent
Big Rig.
Yeah, yes, but in this episode, ironically, Bishop is not one of those. One of the rebels. Like Bishop is on the side of the government. He has a government ID. Yeah, he has a government ID. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I apologize, Shabak. I forgot you fell asleep. Okay, so Bishop, in the beginning of this episode, you see Wolverine and like a couple of unknown mutants. At this point in time, they're not part of the traditional X-Men, and they're fighting the Sentinels. And Bishop shows up, and he basically captures everyone, and he puts them like in the little slave truck or whatever with a net over it,
because they have like a mutant trade-in thing, kind of like Florida does with the pythons in the Everglades, except for its
holy
mutant.
shit, it is exactly like that. So he delivers them for execution to the government. And in Wolverine, the whole time he's in the little net pod or whatever, he's like, bro, you're gonna regret this. He was like, and Bishop's like, dude, if you just do what they tell you to, this is so poignant. Like Bishop tells Wolverine, if you just do what they tell you to, they'll treat you good. I'm treated like a king.
Yeah.
Everything is good. So he delivers the last X-Men and a couple of other mutants that Wolverine's working with to the government, to the Sentinels, and they immediately blast like Bishop's car. They blow it up, and they're like, and now you're going in with them.
Yeah. Because he was no longer needed. So
yeah, he was a mutant, and he was working with the government. Exactly like Chris said, he was no longer needed.
That was Joker's point to Batman in The Dark Knight. It's like, they need you now, but when they don't,
yep,
cast you aside like a
Bishop's
leper.
like,
Scratch 3 Rebels.
Play that fucking music every time he harmonica or some shit playing every time he's like walking or whatever.
So I always thought. So I didn't know that backstory on Bishop. I just thought he was just a future X-Men.
No,
so
no, he
had a kind of a cool power though. He had that gun. Like, I guess he would absorb energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somehow, and
it's
put it into
power.
that gun. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, his main power was he could absorb energy weapons, you name it, and redirect it back. And he could focus it into the gun because he was from the future, and he had somehow weaponized it a little more efficiently. But yeah, that was his power. And so realizing he's been betrayed by the government, oh my God, I can't believe it. The government fucking betrayed me. Who could have seen that one coming? But anyways, yeah, they break out, they kill a bunch of Sentinels, and now Bishop is sort of semi on their side, and they decide Wolverine, who is, oh, by the way, is really old in this episode, obviously.
So he doesn't heal. It's like the whole, it's in the movies and everything, but like,
yes,
he doesn't heal, as good as he
quite
did.
as good. Yeah, he's got gray hair and stuff.
He's not going to be able to like travel through time.
The movie Logan is fucking amazing too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. And this is what it's kind of like. Like, this is literally, to me, like, this is what you're looking at in this episode of the animated series. This is Logan. Like, and he's worn out. He's watched his friends die. He's just jaded, and he's been selected to travel back in time because pretty much he's the only one who can survive, right? Because of his mutant healing powers, et cetera, right? And so they're telling Bishop the plan because he's now on their side. He's now a rebel after having to escape the government. And he's basically like, hey, we're going to go back in time and try to stop this future from happening. And Wolverine's like, I'm going. And at the last moment, like, Bishop's like, no, you're not. Like, I'm going because I have the strength. And like, how the hell are you going to stop the assassination when I'm the one that kicked your ass and captured you?
Right.
And obviously Wolverine takes that extremely well and tells him he's going to remember it, kick his ass later.
Yeah.
And so Bishop grabs the time collar and flies back. This episode's so cool. And then goes back in time. But of course, there's a negative effect.
And then, like, as you see him like going through the time portal, like Wolverine's in the background going, "Fuck you, Bob."
Yeah. He is, dude. He's like wrecking the Sentinels, and like an evil ultimate Sentinel from the future known as Nimrod. not to be confused with the Green
Turtles?
Day album. The Green Day album or the
Ninja Turtles. Named Nimrod, I believe, a villain or something.
I think so, yeah. So he's fighting Nimrod. So the Wolverine's fighting Nimrod, and he's going at it. And Bishop
wasn't Nimrod just something that we called people when they were like dorks or whatever?
Yeah,
like a Nimrod.
But not in the fucking future. In the future, the thing will beat your ass, bro.
He's a badass.
That's what it is. That's what it is. All the nerds of today make a.
They do.
They take all that bully hate and make a world-destructing robot.
Yeah.
They're like, call me fucking Nimrod again.
One more time. Say it again. Turn around and say it again, John.
So Bishop goes back in time. He sees Wolverine fucking up Nimrod, and he disappears. But the side effect of the time travel, he makes it safely, but he forgets everything. Like the time travel process, Bishop forgets everything about why he was sent there. So the rest of the episode is him trying to figure out exactly why he's there.
Yeah, with the big reveal, all he can remember is one of the X-Men killed the fucking president.
Yes.
And then but then Gambit walks in, and then he has the oh shit moment of, oh God, it's you. And then
it's you. You're the one I'm here to kill. And he literally pulls out a gun and is just gonna blast Gambit the second he sees him because he realizes
Gambit. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I mean, he is being a cock tease to Rogue, but He kind of gets a bad fucking rap in this season, man.
He does.
Gambit was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He literally has a redemption arc like nobody else in season 1 because you're right, nobody trusts him. And I mean, again, he was a criminal before. He doesn't seem to have really a lot of loyalties. Like, yeah, he's with the X-Men, but even still, it's always in question. There's moments in the season that make you think that he's gone traitor. Right. He never does. He never does, but he often will play the line between good and bad very
smooth.
Thin.
He's smooth with the ladies too.
Yes, yeah, he's very charismatic.
Chadwick may call him the moist of the moist list.
That's how Rogue referred to him.
Yeah, the moist of the moistless.
It's the episode ends with basically Gambit like charging his gun and just blasting, like trying to kill Gambit, which of course is a 2-parter. Moving into episode 12. Last thoughts, anybody, before we move?
No, man. Let's wrap
Let's
go.
Yeah, we got 2 more left. Second to last. So episode 12. Just kidding. The assassin wasn't Gambit, but you guessed it. The shape-shifting mutant bitch Mystique yet again. The X-Men save the senator who was to be assassinated. They foil Apocalypse's plan, but when Bishop returns to the future, everything is still absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And that's basically that entire episode. I don't know what else you'll want to add to that. Like they find out out that Gambit.
Yeah. So they stop the assassination, but something else happens that completely fucks the future.
Yeah.
And so now you're like, what is going to happen? What
is going to happen? Two quick notes. Gambit obviously was an assassin, so he's redeemed. He was honorable the entire time. The future wasn't screwed because of him. It was just Mystique that looked like him that assassinated. So they stopped that, right? They end it. But then we find out, of course, one of the big reveals for Rogue, Mystique is actually Rogue's mother.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yes.
So that was I had forgotten completely about that. And I was like, oh
big
shit.
Reveal.
Yeah.
I thought she was Nightcrawler's mom.
This is the animated series. I don't know. I'm telling you what you may be right. That may be the way that it actually works out in the comic books. But in the animated series, you find out that it's there's a really fucked up scene at the end because like Rogue's like, I'm gonna kill you basically. Mystique's like, you're not gonna kill me because I used to look like this, and she transforms into Rogue's mother. Now maybe all this changes in season 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Right? But at this point in time,
it's her fucking mom. And when I look it up, that says it. Like when I looked it up, because I was like, is that fucking real? Like I didn't know if it was a ruse.
A ruse. Your cunning attempt to trick me.
But I looked it up.
I don't appreciate your ruse.
Mystique's a lying ass bitch, dude. You can't trust that bitch.
So anyway, but yeah, that's what it says. It says it's her fucking mom. So it's
you
weird.
find out. And so this was hilarious because in a couple episodes back,
what's her name? Martha?
Yeah, her name was Martha.
Probably. Damn it, dude. God, I hate fucking Zack Snyder, bro. So you find out.
Why'd you say that name, Sugar?
Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
God.
So she's like, you not only are you not going to kill me, you're going to help me escape. And Rogue's like, what are you talking about? Because she's like, because I'm your mama, Sugar.
Yeah.
So she lets her go. And there's this really messed up moment. She was like, that's why I tried to capture you and make you Apocalypse's slave so that we could be together again.
Yeah. So
that's literally
weird.
her reasoning. And Rogue cries and just let her, like, she just morphs away and leaves.
Yep.
When you said that, I just pictured Rogue in the Britney Spears slave video.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty much what it was, dude. That's how it basically ended.
This X-Men episode is not only going to be a 2-parter, but it's just going to be that apple bottom picture of Rogue 1,000 fucking times.
with someone brilliantly made into an action figure.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 13. Remember Master Mold from episode 7? Chris Shudrick, I know you do. Well, guess what? He's not dead.
I remember.
Yeah,
he's not.
back.
Not only is he not dead, he's alive, and now he's decided all the world leaders' brains need to be replaced with computers.
Well, you know what? He's fucking AI.
He's not.
He is AI, dude.
He absolutely is a representation of AI.
He's like Chat GPT 7.
Shadow's best friend on his lonely nights.
He's Master Mold's ahead of the curve. What can we say? The X-Men, with the help of Magneto, show up to his underground lair, and you guessed it, they blow everything the fuck up and defeat Master Mold once and for all. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, finally, Beast is let out of jail.
He's let out of jail. The system works.
Which was actually the point of the entire first series.
First season was the system works.
First season, sorry.
If you wait it out, you'll miss all of the action, all the character growth, and you'll finally get out of
finally get out of fucking prison. So, also Shadow, we referenced it earlier, but this has that one scene where the doctor or whoever is like, he has the horrifying moment where he realized humans and mutants are the same.
Yeah, he's
Shadow's favorite part.
He's like yelling at Master Mold. It's like, you were supposed to just kill the mutants, and the guy's like, or Master Mold is like, that's illogical because mutants are humans.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like zoom on that dude's face.
Yeah, and he's
like horrified, like.
Yeah.
It's a poignant moment, man. He realizes we're all the same, bro. His racism was
funny. So we're a little delirious, but I'm going to take it over to our Oh You Didn't Know, where
Oh, you didn't know?
this is just, who is you guys season 1 favorite character? I'll start, but
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Gambit, I think.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know, just he had a good season, so put up a lot of good stats in this season. So I was happy with Gambit.
And he has the biggest redemption arc. That's a really good choice. And I'm glad I actually asked this early, like in the very first episode of the podcast. Like, I asked Shadwick, and like, I'm glad he didn't answer. So I'm excited to hear his answer too. So good call, Chris. That was a really good one.
What you got, Shadwick?
I mean, actually, Gambit is my favorite character, but I know what you want me to say. If you want me to say my favorite character is Rogue's ass.
Yes.
So let's just get all up in it.
Yeah. This is what's been haunting this whole episode, is that one internet picture that has been out forever.
Again, we were 12, 13 when this was going on, so you know, we're making the change. We're
Yes.
hey, we're evolving.
We
if
were
you will.
evolving, yes.
We are. It's
And
absolutely true.
You put that kind of smoky, sultry voice with that curvaceous girl, and she even had some kind of like some lines, you know, like one time she's like saving Cyclops, and she's like giving him CPR, and
Oh, yeah.
I think she goes mouth to mouth, right?
Yeah.
She goes not ass to mouth, mouth to mouth, and he goes, she goes, "Come on, pretty boy, make a woman feel welcome."
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, dude.
There's like a handful of like little sexual innuendo things.
I fucking loved Rogue in this. I did. I did love Rogue, but I think Gambit, I don't know, like you said, had the story arc. Well, Leaf, who you got?
Hold up, I'm not done.
You're not done talking about her ass?
No. This was the whole segment.
It was
this was influential on the rest of my life. So, for those of you who don't know, which is fucking everyone listening, my wife has a very healthy ass. I mean, look,
information.
Look, it's from the bottom of it's the art from the back, right?
Oh,
it took her 4 back surgeries to get there, and she'll say it was scoliosis, but what wouldn't you do for love?
That's very true. Yeah. It's very, very true. So I mean, this was basically what started your love for your wife.
And little did I know, she loved this cartoon also.
Dude, it's just so romantic, you know.
It's a match made in heaven. I really like that.
I can't wait till Halloween because I've got a great idea.
Oh boy! All right.
Actually, I may not be able to wait till Halloween.
Yep. Shadwick's like, I can't wait till 5 minutes from now.
I'm searching costumes now.
Nice.
She's like, but it's Valentine's Day. You're like, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Put this latex on now.
All right, Leaf, who do you got?
My favorite character by far and away was the illustrious Magneto. While I think that you guys have a good point with Gambit, we didn't actually really talk about him a lot, but so that's an excuse for everybody that watches this podcast to go back and watch the show itself. You'll see Gambit's growth, but Magneto also has an equal amount of growth. Near the last episode, he ends up getting fucked up by the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Right? And realizes he's so powerful and he's so strong. And it's like he realizes that he can't do it. He can't go at it alone. And he ends up kind of returning back to his old roots, man. That kind of hit me good, dude. That kind of hit me right in the old man feels, where an old man realizes that he needs the help of his old friends, and he goes back to them, and they kind of defeat Master Mole, the evil artificial intelligence trying to take over the world. They do it together, and he saves Professor X's life, I think, a couple of times in that episode, and then just kind of goes his own way. But his character growth from the very beginning is really incredible.
And it kind of lets it be known too, like, hey, it's like the Spider-Man, you only get one. Everybody gets one, or joke from
everybody
Family
gets
Guy.
one, right? Yeah. But in the back of his mind, correct. But at the back of his mind, he's just like, he is still convinced, right? Like, I'm not wrong, but I am also, I'm going to have to change my worldview a little bit. Things are more complicated than I originally, and I don't know. I respect that. I really respect that character growth, that he's kind of like, I need help.
Would you guys go with the textured rogue costume or the shiny dominatrix?
Bro, I'm done with you, dude.
And with that, we'll go ahead and take it over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed.
You disagree with that?
Yeah. I thought it was the raping. As my feeling, most rapists are hypocrites. You don't meet many go, I like raping, and I know it's not politically correct, but by God, people go, well, he's not being a hypocrite, and that's the worst part.